Hey there. Thank you for joining me. Yay, you've made it to your mat again, which is amazing. So welcome to today's class. This is going to be your second signature flow class for the week. And it'll be very similar to what we did a couple of days ago. Just maybe there's a couple of little tweaks here and there. So make sure you're nice and comfortable. Today I've got my block with me. If you've got a block, please grab it and just have it nearby. It's a great tool to have. If you don't have a block, you could just use a big book or anything that's kind of quite sturdy that you could maybe put a little bit of weight on in some of the postures. So let's make a start. Coming into your child's pose here, your wide-legged child's pose. So big toes together, knees nice and wide, and then starting to walk your hands forward. And just for the first few moments, let's just stack one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead down onto your hands. And taking a little bit of time here, just to settle into the body, settle into the breath. Noticing how you're feeling and how your body's feeling today. And just cultivating a curious and open approach to just noticing where we're at. And you can start to gently extend into the breathing, slowing down the inhale and slowing down the exhale. Just allowing the hips to be heavy. And let's revisit our sankalpa or intention. Repeating it to yourself 3 times. And then let's start to extend the arms away long, pressing down through the palms of the hands. Forehead might lightly come down onto the mat. Starting to extend out through both sides of the waist. Taking a deep inhale through the nose. And then out through the nose. And then again, just like that, deep in breath through the nose. And out through the nose. And coming up into your tabletop position. Spreading into the hands, pressing down through the knuckles. Finding that long spine to begin with, crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. And then when you're ready, in your own time and own pacing, just starting to take your cat-cow, just releasing the belly down, lifting the eyes, taking an inhale, pressing down through the tops of the feet. And then as you exhale, curling the other way, really tucking that tailbone under, tucking the chin in, pressing the middle part of the back up towards the ceiling. And again, it's moving with your breath. And for the next few rounds, you might like to turn the fingers back to point towards the knees, just opening up the forearms and the wrists here. Same action with the spine. And just sort of doing one more or finishing your last one. And then turning the fingers to point forward, finding that neutral spine. And then let's extend this right leg back, keeping it parallel, lifting that right leg up, lifting the left arm up as an option, taking an inhale, lift the leg, lift the arm, and then exhale, curling the knee and the elbow in as the knee comes towards the nose. And again, inhale, extend everything out and long, and then exhale, squeezing everything in, draw the navel in, and again, inhaling and exhaling. And then placing that left hand down, extend the right leg back, kickstanding that left leg behind you, peeling open into this side angle variation here, and then extending that right arm up and over, that right palm facing down, eyes can look up towards the ceiling. Press down into the knuckles of the left hand, maybe lifting this right leg up away from the mat. Keep hugging the navel and the lower ribs back in towards the spine. Find the breath, taking one more inhale. And then exhale, placing that right leg down and folding into your tabletop and tucking the toes under, pressing back into your down facing dog. Feeling free to keep the knees a little bit bent here if you need to. Just taking an inhale. And then exhale, walking the hands back towards the feet, letting the heels drop down, soften through the knees and take a spinal roll to come all the way up to standing. Take the hands to the base of the head here, interlacing the hands, cradling the head. Take an inhale, lift the sternum and drop the tailbone down, lifting the eyes. As you exhale, spinal roll down, and then releasing the hands down at the bottom, taking an inhale into your halfway lift, draw the quadriceps up. Exhale, fold, soften through the knees. And then walking your hands back out into your down facing dog. And then coming down into your tabletop. Once again, releasing the tops of the feet down. Taking this left leg back, keeping it parallel. Right arm and left leg lifts up. Take an inhale, lift the eyes. Exhale, curling the knee and the elbow in. And again, inhale. And exhale. And again. Inhaling and exhaling. Placing the right hand down, extend that left leg back as you bring that right leg behind you, taking the left arm up towards the ceiling and then up and over the side of the head, eyes looking towards the ceiling. Pressing down into the knuckles of the right hand and trying to lift away from that right hand, and then maybe lifting that left leg up away from the mat. Taking one more inhale here, and then as you exhale, left leg comes down, folding back into your tabletop position, tucking the toes under, pressing back into down facing dog. Just taking an inhale, and then exhale, walking the hands back towards the feet, dropping the heels down, spinal roll all the way up. Interlace the hands at the base of the head. Take an inhale, drop the tailbone down, lift the sternum, lift the eyes, upper back bend here, and then exhale, spinal roll to come down, releasing the hands. Take an inhale into your halfway lift, draw the quadriceps up, and then exhale, fold. Soften through the knees and walk your hands back out into your down facing dog. Let's take one full breath here in our down dog. And then looking towards the hands, and you can walk one foot up at a time, or if you can take a couple of big steps just to come straight forward into your Uttanasana. Take an inhale into your halfway lift, hands can come to the shins, and then exhale, fold. Taking a spinal roll, bending through the knees to come all the way up to standing. Take the arms out to the side, looking up towards the thumbs as the palms come together, and exhale, bring the hands down into your prayer position. Just in front of the chest. Just take a few moments here, feeling the weight dropping down into the feet. Length along the entire spinal column. And then let's release the hands down by your side. And you can have your feet slightly apart or bring them together to come into your Tadasana here. So palms facing forward, grounding down through the feet. Taking an inhale to reach those hands up, palms of the hands come together, looking towards the thumbs, and then exhale, forward fold into your Uttanasana. Feeling free to here to bend your knees as much as you need to, letting the head relax down. Taking an inhale into your halfway lift, fingertips onto the shins. Exhale, fold and step that right leg back, coming down onto that right knee. Release the top of the right foot down. And chest reaching forward, taking an inhale. Exhale to tuck that right toes under, lifting the knee off. Lift through the belly to step back into your plank position. Gazing towards the top of the mat. Press the mat away from you, lifting the front of the body towards the back body. Taking one more inhale here. Exhale, coming down to the knees. Release the tops of the feet down and releasing down onto your belly. Bring those hands a bit closer to the rib cage here. Press down through the tops of the feet, either your baby cobra or maybe coming up higher into your cobra. Squeeze the elbows in. One more inhale. Exhale through your tabletop position, tuck the toes under, pressing back into down facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Steady gaze with the eyes. Pressing down through the inner edges of the hands and the outer edges of the hands, and then try to lift away from the hands into the hips to lengthen through both sides of the waist. One more inhale. Exhale completely. Rising up onto the balls of the feet, taking that right leg up into your 3-legged dog, keeping it parallel. Inhale. Exhale, stepping it forward in between the hands and dropping down to that left knee. Release the top of the left foot down, reaching the sternum forward. Inhaling. Exhale, tuck the left toes under, knee off, and stepping forward back into your Uttanasana. Let the head relax down. Press down through the feet as you come straight up to standing. Arms come up above the head. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Relaxing the head. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping that left foot back, dropping down to the left knee, top of the foot releases down. Inhale to reach the sternum forward. Exhale, step back into plank. Pressing the mat away from you, taking another inhale. Exhale, knees down, top of the feet down, all the way down to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra or your cobra. Exhale, back into down facing dog. 3 breaths. So sealing down through the palms of the hands and then anchoring down through the base of the big toes and the outer edges of the feet, trying to press down, even if your heels aren't touching. Rising up into the balls of the feet slightly to take that left leg up into your 3-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, stepping it forward in between the hands. Right knee drops down, top of the foot down. Reach the chest forward, inhaling. And then exhale to tuck the toes under and step it forward into your Uttanasana, letting the head relax down. Inhale, sweeping up, palms, hands come together. Let's bring the hands down in front of the chest and release them down back into your Tadasana here. Feet together if they're not already there, and then bend through the knees and sweep up into your Utkatasana. Palms, the hands can be together or hands can be shoulder distance apart. Let's bend a little bit deeper if you can. Eyes can gaze towards the thumbs. Shift the weight slightly back into the heels. Find the breath. Maybe sinking a little bit deep for this last breath. Shift the weight back, taking an inhale, and then exhale, folding down. Uttanasana, relax the head. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping that right leg back, dropping that right knee down, top of the foot down, sweeping the arms up into your low lunge. Reaching up through both sides of the waist here and ground down through that left heel. Taking an inhale, lift the sternum and then start to circle the hands back, placing the hands on the back of the pelvis, fingers pointing up if you can, or maybe fingers pointing down if that feels too strong for you. Squeeze the elbows in, shift the hips slightly forward as you keep scooping up through the lower belly. Lift through the eyes, inhale. And then exhale, releasing the hands down. Taking an inhale to hold here, and then as you exhale, starting just straight through this front leg, flexing that left foot towards the face. Take another inhale to extend out through the spine, and then exhale, folding down over this front leg. Trying to draw that left quadricep up. Use your breath to find space. And then let's bend into that front leg. Plant the hands down, tuck the back toes under, and then step back into your plank position. Inhaling here. Now option, if you don't want to put your knees down or you would like to give this a try, we're going to come down into our chaturanga and then release all the way down onto the mat. So you're gazing towards the top edge of the mat. Press back through the backs of the legs and scoop up through the lower belly. Taking an inhale, exhale, lowering down, try to hover off the mat. And then release all the way down, release the tops of the feet down. And then again, either cobra or baby cobra. Back through your tabletop, back into down facing dog. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Rising up into the balls of the feet. Take that right leg up, inhaling. Exhale, stepping it forward in between the hands. Left heel comes down and coming up to standing. Arms up at shoulder height, palms facing down. Then the right toes are pointing forward. And you're thinking about this right knee tracking towards, in between the big and the second toe. And the left toe's just slightly turned in. This is somewhere you could use your block on the inner edge of that right foot. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen out through both sides of the waist. So moving into Trikonasana. Hand above the knee, below the knee, or the ankle. Or using your block. Even if you don't usually use a block, sometimes it's quite nice to just give it a go and see how it feels in your practice. If you can, eyes are looking up towards that top hand. Trying to lift away from the leg or from the block. Pressing down through the outer edge of that left heel, left foot. Taking an inhale, and then exhale to turn the head back towards that right big toe, and then coming back upright. Bending into this front leg, and just take this left foot out a little bit longer into your warrior two legs, and then let's take our Paschimottanasana or side angle here. Right forearm down, or again, you could use your block or hand onto the mat. Grounding down through the base of that right big toe. You're thinking about revolving the chest towards the left side of the room and up towards the ceiling. Check in with your breathing. And on the next in-breath, ground down through the feet and come into your reverse warrior. Left hand is very light on the back leg. Taking an inhale and then exhale. Cartwheel the hands down towards this front foot. Come onto the ball of the left foot. And shift the hands slightly forward. And then as you come up, just lift that left leg up into this L shape before you place it down to come back into your Uttanasana, relaxing the head. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend through the knees. Sweep up into your Utkatasana. Inhale, straightening through the legs. Exhale, Tadasana. Once again, bending through the knees. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhaling, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping that left leg back. Drop down to the left knee. Release the top of the left foot down. Inhale into your low lunge here. Ground down through that right heel. Lifting through the sternum. Lift through the eyes Taking another in-breath. Exhale to circle the hands back, placing them onto the back of the pelvis, using the thumbs to drop that tailbone down as you lift through the front of the body, lift through the sternum, lift through the eyes. Maybe shifting the weights, the hips slightly forward. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Taking an inhale to hold, and then exhale to start to straighten this front leg. Flex the right foot towards the face. Taking another inhale here, and then as you exhale, starting to walk the hands just to where you can. This is another pose where you can use your block if you need to be up higher as well. Is there anywhere in the body that you can soften and let go of? Maybe the face, the shoulders. Stay connected to the breathing. And then bending into that front leg. Tucking the back toes under. Inhale and exhale to step back into your plank position. So once again, option for your chaturanga. We won't hold it here for too long. Thinking about a straight line coming all the way down. So take an inhale, lift the front of the body away from the mat. Elbows go straight back as the weight shifts slightly forward, and then coming all the way down. Release the tops of the feet down. Hands can come back a little bit for your baby cobra or your cobra. Inhale, and then exhale back into your down facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here. Steady the gaze. Lengthen out the breathing. Rising up onto the balls of the feet to take that left leg up into your 3-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, stepping it forward in between the hands. Right heel comes down. If you want to use your block, you could just pop it straight there so it's ready for you. And rising up here. Inhaling. Exhale, shifting into your Trikonasana. Hand somewhere where that feels like it works for you. You could also have the block a little bit higher as well. Just always having a little bit of a play to see what feels right in your body. Pressing down through the base of the left big toe as you ground down through the outer edge of that right foot. One more full breath here. Just taking another inhale, and then exhale to turn the eyes, look down towards that left big toe, coming upright, inhaling, exhale to bend into that left leg, walk that right foot out a little bit further, and then coming into your Paschimottanasana, just your variation here. Just going to take that away. Just observing the breath, observing the body. And ground down through the feet as you inhale, coming back into your reverse warrior. Right hand light on the back leg. And then exhale to cartwheel the hands down. Rotate onto the ball of the right foot. Shift the hands slightly forward so you can try to take that right leg up into your L shape. Stepping it down into your Uttanasana. Let the head relax. Take an inhale into your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend through the knees, coming into your Utkatasana. And then straightening the legs, exhale into your Tadasana. Bring the palms of hands into the center of the chest. Just take a little moment here, closing down the eyes. Feeling the weight ground down into the feet, along through the entire spine. And then let's open up the eyes, release the hands down and open out the feet a little bit wider than your hips, or actually I should say hip distance apart. And then place the hands at the waist here. Take an inhale to lengthen up and then exhale, folding down. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, you can. Taking the first two fingers, holding the big toes, and then taking another inhale to lengthen out through the spine, and then exhale, folding down here into your Padangusthasana. Once you're here, think about shifting the weight slightly forward into the front of the feet as you draw the quadriceps up and try to lift the navel away from the thighs. Back of the neck is relaxed. And then taking an inhale into your halfway lift, either repeating or coming into your Padahastasana. So stepping onto the hands, big toes towards the wrists, and when you're ready, exhale to fold down. And if it's possible, eyes gaze towards the tip of the nose here, but if not, just in between the legs is fine. Just find a steady spot for the eyes. And then taking an inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, just release those hands, place them down, bend the knees and step back just into a very short down facing dog so that we can come down onto the knees, big toes, feet together, knees together. It's coming into your Vajrasana or Japanese seat. Vajrasana actually means thunderbolt, so slightly different names there, but does it matter? Cup the left hand into the right, tips of the thumbs touching, and let's close down the eyes once again. Observing the effects of the practice. And then blinking open the eyes, sitting over to one side, and let's extend the legs out long. Coming into your Dandasana to begin with, so pressing down through the backs of the legs, press down through the palms of the hands, and chin is very slightly tucked in, trying to lengthen up through the entire spine, opening across the collarbones here. And then taking an inhale to lengthen the arms up, and then exhale, folding forward over the legs, just taking hold of wherever you can here, outer edges of the feet if that's available. So you can use your thumbs to press the inner edges of the feet forward. Take another inhale to lengthen up, and then exhale, folding forward. And here the dristi is towards the big toes, but if that just doesn't feel comfortable, just finding a spot that feels good for you. Trying to draw the kneecaps up. And slow down your breathing. And you might begin to notice the different energetic qualities of the different poses. The forward folds tend to quieten everything down. Just activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And then taking an inhale, coming back up, releasing those hands, taking the hands about a forearm distance behind you, and you might separate the feet and come into your reverse tabletop position, or if it's available and you'd like to give it a go, we're coming into our Purvottanasana here, lifting the hips up, pressing down through the mounds of the feet, and then maybe letting the head drop back. Keep lifting the sternum. 3 full breaths. And then take an inhale, bring the head back up, releasing the hips back down, coming all the way upright. I'll just turn to face you here, opening the legs out into your Upavishtakonasana. So pressing down through the backs of the legs, just using the hands behind you to creep up a little bit onto the sitting bones and lengthen up through both sides of the waist. Inhaling. And then exhale, bringing the hands forward in front of you and starting to come down to wherever you can. This is also somewhere you could use a block if you want to stay up a little bit more upright and be supported. Ground down through the backs of the legs as the toes keep pointing up. And if you're someone who can go all the way forward, you can go down. Just stay very active through your legs. So if you're someone who's very flexible and it's easy to get into this pose, what you want to focus on a little bit more is your developing strength, lifting through the belly here. And then let's walk the hands back upright. Just using your hands, closing down the legs, bending the knees, hands behind the thighs. Take an inhale and then draw the navel in and a roll down onto the mat. Bringing the heels in a little bit closer to the hips, feet stay parallel. Let's take a couple of moments just lying down on your back, palms facing up, and you can close down the eyes. Just feeling the body in contact with the mat. And then let's open up the eyes, taking an inhale. As you exhale, peel the spine off the mat, pressing down through the inner edges of the feet, and either palms can just stay down or you can interlace the hands underneath the back, maybe creeping up a little bit higher onto the tips of the shoulders. Eyes gazing towards the navel, sternum lifting towards the face. Taking one more inhale, lift the hips up a little bit higher, releasing those arms and rolling all the way back down. Just taking a moment here. We're going to repeat that one more time. I'm just going to grab my block. If you've got a block and you want to try this variation, please feel free to grab that as well. So we'll go one more time. So if you wanted to have a more restorative variation, you could just rest the back of the pelvis on your block and just stay here. You might even go a little bit flatter if you want to have something a bit more subtle. And if you would like to go for a more active variation, let's pop the block to the side. And we're going to take an inhale and then exhale to peel the spine back off. Either palms down or interlacing the hands underneath the back. So grounding down through the feet. And then option here to lift the right knee up in towards the chest and then extend the right leg up towards the ceiling, flexing through that right foot. Keep pressing down through that left foot. Keep breathing, gazing towards the right big toe. And then bending into that right knee, placing that right foot down. Lift the hips up once again. Ground down through that right leg, bringing the left knee towards the chest. Extend that left leg up, flexing through the left foot. Keep breathing. Taking one more inhale, bending to that left leg, placing that left foot down, lifting the hips up, releasing the arms, inhale, and then exhale, everyone coming down. Let's open the feet out as wide as the mat. Let the knees drop in together, just closing down the eyes. And then open up the eyes. Bring the feet
down to the mat again, hips side by side, and then crossing that right leg over. Lift the hips up and take it slightly over to the right, and you might want to wrap that right foot behind the left, lifting the feet off. Inhale, exhale, dropping the knees over to the left as you open this right arm open to the side. And your eyes can stay looking straight ahead or turn towards that right hand. Feeling free to close the eyes if that feels good. Allowing that right shoulder blade to be heavy. Trying to soften anywhere you can let go of. Maybe the face, the jaw, front of the throat. Just allowing gravity to take over here. And then inhale, coming back through center, uncross the legs and just reset the hips, bringing them back to the middle. And then let's cross that left leg over, lifting the hips up slightly over to the left, maybe wrapping the left foot behind. Feet come off as you drop the knees over to the right, extending that left arm open to the side. And eyes can either be straight ahead or to the left. Option to close down the eyes. Left shoulder blade heavy. That outer left hip moving away from the left shoulder. Taking one more full breath, inhaling, and then exhaling completely. And then inhale, bringing everything back to center, uncross the legs. And we're going to take our Viparita Karani, which is the legs up the wall. So you might want to take this up the wall if that's a variation that feels good for you. Or if you have your block or your cushion, let's place the block or cushion underneath the back of the pelvis. And then taking one leg up and then the other leg up, flexing the feet, toes towards the face. So a little bit away from the body, palms facing up, and allowing the eyes to close down. Just allowing the belly to fall back in towards the spine. And trying to slow down the exhale. Two more full breaths here. And then bending the knees in towards you, just placing one foot down at a time, pressing down through the feet, lifting the hips up and moving the block if you've been using that. And then let's come into our Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, soles of the feet together, letting the knees drop open. Eyes can stay closed. Just noticing what's in contact with the mat. Outer edges of the feet, back of the pelvis, upper back, backs of the arms, back of the head. Just allowing those points of contact to get a little bit deeper with each exhale. And then when you're ready, let's extend one leg out at a time. Just moving into your Savasana. Just making sure that you're warm enough, feel comfortable. If you've got an eye pillow, feeling free to pop the eye pillow on. Arms a little bit away from the body, palms facing up. So with each exhale, just allowing the body to get a little bit heavier and a little bit softer. Just resting here for the next few minutes. And please feel free to stay resting here. And if you'd like to start to make your way up to a seated position, let's begin to deepen into your breathing. Deep breath in through the nose, filling the whole body. And exhaling out through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels good. And a little bit of movement into the fingers and toes. And bending one knee up at a time. Just rolling over to the side of your choice. Just taking a few moments on the side. And then making your way up to a seated position. And if you can keep your eyes closed as you're making the transition, feel free to do so. Otherwise, once you get into your seat, just gently closing down the eyes again. Hands resting down onto the thighs or the knees. Just continue to lightly observe your breathing. Feeling the length of the entire spinal column here. Allowing the face to be soft and the shoulders soft. Bringing the palms of the hands together into your prayer in front of the chest. Bowing the head down towards your hands. Just taking a moment just to offer gratitude to yourself for making it to the mat, to the practice, to the good that you have in your life. Thank you so much for joining me for today. Namaste.